Hi, this is Andy Scott with North Shore Apartments and Condos. I'm walking into 830 Washington, number 1 South. This is a really terrific one bedroom. And as we walk through the front door, we're looking through the living room, and that far room is the bedroom. The living room is a nice big room, but before we explore the rest of the apartment, I'm just going to show you the front door and the entryway with a really big closet. This closet's got to be 11 or 12 feet deep. It's got a hanging bar, hooks, a couple of shelves, and as you can see, you can really store a lot of stuff. It's probably about, like I said, 11 by 3, something like that. If we look into the living room, to the right we see a sliver of the dining room. So I'm going to head towards that sliver there and just give you a quick glance at the dining room, which is a significant room. But before we explore that, we'll look more closely, whoops-a-daisy, at the living room. This is a big room, probably about 14 by 11 and maybe 11 and a half. Beautiful hardwood floors. You can see he has some big pieces of furniture, and there's still quite a bit of floor space. He keeps his blinds closed. So I've just opened a couple of them so we could see out, but you're facing east here into the courtyard, and you can see the sidewalk down through the center of the courtyard there. Turning around from the couch, we go back to the entry area there, swing around, and we see the dining area. That little sliver of doorway would be towards the bedroom, and we see all this guy's degrees over here. We're going to walk towards the dining room, which really is a full, formal, separate dining room. The windows here are facing west, I believe. Yeah, they got to be facing west. Again, beautiful hardwood floors. This room's probably like 12 by 10 and a half, something like that. Big radiator in the right corner. The windows, like I said, are facing west. I'll walk into the building, or the room rather, and just show you, basically looking at the building next door. Turning around, we see a nice big room. And there we see the sliver of the hallway. To the left is the bedroom, to the right is the bath. The other thing to notice while we're looking at the windows is that the windows are newer windows. So they're nice and tight. They block both weather and sound, which is nice. It's nice and quiet. Okay, from the dining room we would go into the kitchen. Kitchen's pretty big for a vintage style building. So we see some of the original cabinets combined with some newer cabinets, full-size appliances, fridge, and stove. And as we walk toward the back door, come around, big fridge, full-size dishwasher, twin stainless steel sinks, and a very good water pressure. That's where you go. And a hose attachment with a sprayer as well. So it's nice. It's obviously an occupied apartment and needs to be cleaned, but we will do that, of course. Underneath is nice and dry, so you know it drains well. It can be used as storage. You have some counter space, but not a lot of it really. Not on this side anyway. Full-size dishwasher. Across from the dishwasher, you have a little more counter space, definitely more cabinet space, and those are original cabinets, which if you're an apartment geek, you would think is pretty cool because they've been stripped and refinished. That's the upper. The microwave belongs to the tenant. Underneath, you have 3 drawers. So 3 drawers. And cabinets that are really much deeper. So you can store pots and pans. Let's see if I can get a little more light in there. store pots and pans. You can store small appliances. Really terrific storage underneath. Whoops-a-daisy. Full-size stove. Stove is pretty clean, so man after my own heart. Doesn't do much cooking. Oh, he's got a little bit cooking in here. But not much. Very clean stove. The fridge is a nice big fridge. It's probably about 5 feet 10 inches high. Freezer on top. Shelves to the left. I'm sorry, shelves to the right. And the fridge underneath. Also nice big crisper drawers. Cold cut drawer. Butter dish and shelves to the right. Okay, from the window in the kitchen looking back, we see the original cabinets, which all are workable and add a lot of storage space. So here you have drawers, all of which open. This would have originally been a bread drawer and a bread counter, but now it's just a surface area, and then you have nice big cabinets on top, and there's even more cabinets up above. So really a lot of storage. Oops, sorry about that. And if I step back, I can try to show you the kitchen in its entirety. There's a lot of components, so it's not as easy, but it is a bigger room, full-size appliances, kitchen stove, dishwasher, twin stainless steel sink, good water pressure, and a dishwasher. Now, the back door, because you were curious about the outside, you have a newer screen porch, a newer back stairwell, and the back is gated. So it's really actually quite nice. And you can see it's really well tuck pointed as well. This is a very nice building. We'll walk back in. Lock the door real quick. And we'll go through the kitchen. So that going out the back probably disrupted the continuity of the video, but it's nice to see. It's nice to know that you have a little extra security. The dining room, the living room, whoops, and now I will walk toward the bath, which is to the right, and the bedroom to the left. Before we get there, we have a nice built-in closet kind of thing. Can't think what they call them, linen closet with shelves. Shelves on top as well, and drawers. And there are 3 drawers, all of which work very well. So we'll shut that up, close that. The bath has standard vintage tile, its own radiator, nicely tiled bathtub area. The bathtub itself, I think, will need to be cleaned. Nice cabinet space under the sink, standard vintage toilet. Couple of towel bars, an outlet, medicine cabinet, 2 sources of light, one directly over the mirror. And there, the tub does need to be cleaned. That is really to be expected. Good water pressure again. Now this is set to shower, so we're going to get sprayed just using the hot water. And you can see the water pressure is very good and is draining very well. So I'm going to shut that down. Oh boy. And of course it will be cleaned. The sink, again, strictly hot water, beautiful pressure, nice and clean and dry underneath, so you can use it for storage. And it is being used as storage, drains properly. Up above, the medicine cabinet, lighting directly above for the mirror, and a standard vintage commode. I'm going to step out and just take one more look. That window is again a newer window, so it can be open to dry out the bath area, which is really important, keeping it clean. So from the bath, we look into the bedroom. We sort of go past the dining room, kitchen, just the entryway there. The bedroom is a nice sized bedroom. I would say it's more comfortable with a queen than a king. This, I think, is a full-size bed, but you have plenty of room for additional space. If I step in, I don't know, I'm not going to open this. I'll just sort of show you that once again we're looking at the courtyard, which is facing east. If I turn around, we see that he's got quite a bit of stuff in here in addition to the bed. And there's also a bedroom closet, which is another deep closet. We'll open that. Wow, that's really packed. Okay, so he's got hooks and shelves, and fortunately it has its own lighting. It's pretty hard to see, but if we look right up into that corner there, you can see that it's probably 6 feet deep or more, and a little more than 3 feet wide. So it's a nice big closet, and you can see it holds lots of stuff. So I'll go out the bedroom. We'll look back towards the bath. We see just a little sliver of the dining room. I'll go out this door that connects with the living room. Take one last look at the bedroom, which is a good sized room. All these rooms are significant. Walk past the living room. Got a little look at the dining room and the kitchen, past the big entry closet, and we're back to the front door. Thanks for watching.